Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be looking at Amar and his carry BLOODSEEKER. I mean, this is like an insane game. 33, 2, and 17 with a rapier at the end. I mean, it's almost surprising that he could go 33 and 2 and the game could still last 47 minutes. I guess maybe they have some sort of a problem going high ground. The enemy team has tossback, smokescreen, disarm from Pango, and they really don't have a good siege hero. BLOODSEEKER, he's very easy to poke on the high ground, right? He doesn't have a built-in BKB like Jug or Lifestealer. He doesn't have range like Drow or Terrorblade, so he really has to find kind of a different way to go high ground, which usually involves killing, and that's hard. But either way, we're going to take a look at his carry BLOODSEEKER and see what he does better than everyone else. I will admit that this game does start with the first blood, and that always is massive. He also skills Thirst at level 1. That's something we're going to look into, because it's relatively common, especially when you're laning with something like either a Skywrath or a Snapfire, two heroes that both have at least a disable, if not two, to take the Blood right at level 1, because this is an ability that does some of the highest damage in Dota, right? It is literally one of the best level 1 nukes in the game if you can hit the enemy, so a little bit surprising to see him skill Thirst intentionally at the first blood. Also, I want to tell you guys that if you've been struggling with solo queue and you're looking to get to the next rank, I'm going to be able to help you. Like, literally, with the GameLeap website, I'm going to give you guys guides that are going to make it unbelievably clear on what you need to do. So if you've been stuck in the solo queue grind, you don't know what to do, and you want to become absolutely broken, but like actually you want to become much better at Dota, and you want to take it more seriously, the GameLeap website is going to help you do that. So click the link down below. I'm going to help you get to the next rank, and I'll see you there. Alright, so now looking into his lane matchup, I think I fully understand what he's doing. You can see right off the bat, he understands this matchup, and this is what the best players do, guys, that you're probably just not doing. You have to be able to identify if you know the players in your bracket. Even if you don't, you kind of have to take your best guess at what your matchup is. And even if, let's say, you don't take your best guess, you have to be able to look at the hero in the lane when it starts and say, okay, who am I laning against? What does this hero do? What does Silencer do, guys? Silencer is one of the best chip heroes in the game. As an offlaner, or even as a support, often he'll take glaives and basically try to poke you out of lane. Thirst is the absolute counter to that. It's just built in, essentially, lifesteal, right? So with a couple of CS and a couple denies, he can completely heal off the harass from the Silencer, absolutely destroying him with the creep aggro there. So basically, they want to run at Silencer. I expect them to heavily run at him at level 2. This hero has no proper disengage, only Tiny with Avalanche can save him. So yeah, I really expect him to play relatively passive until level 2. You know, we did see him get aggressive at level 1 there. I think that's because they didn't see the Tiny, they didn't know where Tiny was, and so if Silencer's alone, yes, you should get extraordinarily aggressive on him as, right, immediately level 2 hits, beautiful. I mean, this is incredible, considering I don't even think he knows who the Snapfire is. This is just literally so top tier, so top tier. Instantly, they hit level 2 before the Silencer Tiny lane, and that's going to be first blood. 100%, that's first. Oh my, he stole the kill. I would be so tilted, because he really didn't have to. All right, whatever, but you get the point. I mean, that is beautiful gameplay from Amar and the Snapfire. All right, the next play I want to look at is him diving the tier 1 tower to kill the Silencer at minute 330. So here he's going to go under, right? Basically, I don't know why Tiny's not here at this point. Maybe he's going for the 4-minute rune. However, they dive, and what's really important here is his execution. Notice how when he's approaching the Silencer, he specifically never clicks him. The reason why your average player can never dive towers efficiently, and if they try, they kill themselves, is because when they're diving the tower, they instantly pull the tower aggro. He doesn't do that, right? When he's running up to the Silencer, he's specifically clicking next to the Silencer and not on the Silencer, and that's very important, once again, so you do not tank the aggro. Look how efficient he is. He denies the creep, even though he's going for the kill. That's hilarious. But they're going to go for the play here. Don't even need the cookie. Silencer knows he's dead. And yeah, only tanking the aggro from the tower when he truly has to, right? When he literally is clicking the Silencer. So it's very important. They would have gotten that kill regardless, but especially in situations where it would be close, where, you know, maybe you die if you tank the tower 5, 6, 7 times, well, then you really need to not tank it early. All right, so the next thing Amar has to do is avoid ganks, because BLOODSEEKER is one of the most gankable heroes in Dota. One of the downsides of BLOODSEEKER is the fact that the hero just simply has no disengage. And you could argue, yeah, I mean, Blood Rate kind of can save you, Rupture kind of can save you, and Thirst movement speed is sort of a defensive ability, but at the end of the day, to your average smoke gank, BLOODSEEKER's an 1000 HP hero that is going to die to the mid laner's nukes. And so it's very important that he's aware of this. You can see even here, he's drawing on the map saying, well, I don't know where they are. Where is the enemy? They could be in this area. And he's particularly afraid of the Pangolier. That's his major threat 9 minutes into the game, right? The Rolling Thunder is extremely good at killing him. So you can see when the Tiny shifts over, he's going to avoid the Tiny. From there, the Snapfire does a great job of kind of giving information and helping them break the smoke gank. So also partially shout out to the Snapfire. Actually, I think Amar might have broken that smoke. It was close. But they do a great job of kind of knowing that this play is possible and avoiding it. Absolutely massive, right? He doesn't go down to the gank and now can make his way back to the top lane. And you might be thinking, oh, why would he go back top, right? They're top. That seems suicidal. Why not TP to the triangle? Because often when people gank a lane, they don't actually stay in the lane. Most of the time, they definitely don't stay in the lane. And so you can go back to your lane and feel really happy that you avoided the gank and now can be really efficient because all the heroes are showing mid, so Amar's gameplay is going to be straightforward. With the Maelstrom, you pop your Q off cooldown, which you're going to be maxing out now, and you shred through camps because Bloodseeker with Maelstrom is one of the fastest farming heroes in Dota, if given the space to do so. And honestly, I have to skip through the next few minutes because it truly is Amar just taking the space. Right? He has 130 last hits a minute 14. I mean, this is the last hits. Most people have a minute 20. So you could obviously see his goal here, his intention. His team is, I mean, I'm not going to say his team doesn't take space. They have a Lesh mid, right? They definitely have a greedy mid. I would say Mars is a hero that inherently typically doesn't take a lot of space. Definitely doesn't take neutrals. So there is definitely a good amount of space. Even the Lesh was fighting early on. So basically he happened at, are the camps blocked or did Lesh just farm it? That was pretty funny. But yeah, he's really working towards this BKB because he just understands that the enemy team does like 0 physical damage. It's a team where once he gets BKB, he's basically invincible. And so yeah, he's going to hit this timing and then look to get active. That 100% is going to be his gameplay. You can see he probably will look for this bot fight. If his team can show up with enough heroes, yeah, even here, he's pinging out this Rick. He knows that a Rupture, they're going to go for the Rupture. Can he cancel the TP? Oh no, that's sad. All right, upcoming here, we're going to see our first major team fight from the Bloodseeker. And so he actually queues up a Nullifier. We'll see if he buys that. But he TPs into a fight, and this is what I really like. Even though 2 heroes are dead, right, he understands, okay, I'm clearly at a numbers disadvantage. He takes the fight anyway, right? Just, this is a tough thing to determine whether or not you should TP into seemingly lost fights. But basically, a big thing to keep in mind is anytime your teammates die, yes, the enemy likely used major spells to kill them. Not always, and that's something you have to pay attention to if you want to get to the top level. You have to know what they used and what they didn't most of the time. And here, I think he does a good job of kind of just seeing, yes, they've used a good amount of spells. My BKB is up in 6. I can look to charge in. So he gets a Rupture on Ricky, who I would say is his second best Rupture target this game, probably first best when the Pango Rolling Thunder is on cooldown. So he gets the Rupture onto the Ricky, and is then going to charge towards the Ricky, understanding he needs to finish off this kill when the Rupture is active, otherwise he might not get it at all. Pops his BKB, gets his Q out, and gets a little lucky on the Maelstrom procs, I will not lie. I don't think he might have killed that Pango if he didn't get a little lucky on the Maelstrom procs, but he's able to get a clean triple kill, and that's massive, because that is a solo triple kill. If you don't know what I mean, essentially, right, there's no heroes around him, so he gets solo XP for every single one of those kills, shooting him up to level 18, second highest level in the game is 14. From there, he's going to play the bottom side of the map a little bit, right, just continuing the farm. The main thing is whenever his BKB is on cooldown, yes, he can farm, as he managed to avoid a gank here. He's been so diligent about just kind of reading the map, paying attention to the enemy movements and avoiding these ganks, which is why he has no deaths, right? These players are pros because they really, if they are playing at their full potential and they're fully focused, and you can see he's constantly drawing circles on the map. He's grinding this game as he's going to get the Rupture onto the Pango. Did he get Lotus? Wow, he canceled the Rupture expecting the Lotus. That is insane. That is some awareness right there. My gosh, are they going to be able to get the job done here? Oh my gosh. They dust up the Ricky. Does he have a way out of this? I don't think so. He can try. No, he's dead. And just, I mean, that's just beautiful. I didn't think they would win that fight anyway. That is 100% a one fight because he doesn't Rupture himself on the Lotus. Insane. Honestly, that's actually insane. Now for his next 2 items, he picks up the Basher and the Mjolnir. Pretty common items for Bloodseeker. Honestly, considering this hero has built-in attack speed, you don't really have to buy Mjolnir in some games, but a lot of players seem to really like it, and I think they partially like it for the active of the item. Bloodseeker is a hero that naturally just wants to run in and man up, and having the Mjolnir shield, which procs and does damage every time someone hits you with an ability or a spell, is very, very powerful. As oh, he looks dead here. Oh, good Force Staff. Is he still dead? Oh no. So getting into the next fight, what I once again think is really good about Amar's gameplay is just his ability to find the right angles and the right targets. A lot of players don't know exactly what they're looking for in team fights, and it's hard. That's like probably arguably the hardest thing in Dota, which is target selection and team fights. It's brutally difficult. There's so much going on. But the main thing he does here that I like is he's going to look to go on the Riki, but he understands instantly killing the Riki is pretty hard, right? Because the Riki will often have his W, his E, smoke screen, right? You don't necessarily want to do that. So instead, he makes the safe play and goes onto the Tiny, doesn't have to pop his BKB. Keep in mind, he's also not too afraid of chain stun at this point because the Hoodwink died and he's going on the Tiny who just used his combo. So the only stun is Pango Rolling Thunder. And this is just, when I talk about things like that, man, that's something you basically, I mean, that's hard to coach. You can make people aware that like you have to keep track of what truly threatens you to optimize your BKB usage. But at the same time, it's hard as he gets diffuseled here, so he's gonna, you know, basically get rid of the slow from the diffusal. I don't know why does he not Riki? Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't rupture Riki. Maybe because it's Aegis? I don't know. I feel like you could rupture the Riki anyway, just because that silencer's probably dead regardless. Maybe a mistake on his part there. But other than that, just great target selection, completely destroying the Tiny. It also allows him to, once again, as I said, keep his BKB and allow him to use it on a different target. And if you can do that, it's really nice. It's risky, because you could get chain stunned in some games, in some situations, but not in that case. The last thing I do want to mention is Refresher or Bloodseeker. It's actually a little bit rough, and I'm not actually sure he has the right neutral item to optimize this, because we'll see how this plays out. But with BKB having a mana cost, Refresher having a 350 mana cost, Rupture being 200 mana, one of the more expensive abilities in the game, and him trying to use that 4 times, because at level 25, the reason why people buy Refresher on Bloodseeker, it's a perfect item. Maybe he's not even going to use it for the Rupture, just for BKB. But it's because Bloodseeker needs BKB. It's a hero, you might be like, oh, every hero needs BKB. But Bloodseeker particularly needs BKB because he has to just run in and hit you like 12 times. At least someone like Sven, who also, by the way, buys Refresher, but at least someone like Sven tries to like crit and get out. You know what I mean? Bloodseeker, if he goes in, it's much harder for him to kite in and out, so it's particularly good for that. On top of that, the Rupture, double Rupture, quad Rupture, sorry, with the Rupture charges is insanely good. All right, to look at what's almost the last fight of the game, we're going to see him running high ground here. And really, he got such a great Bloodseeker game. The Rupture against Riki and Pango is just fantastic. I bet he picked it into those heroes last, I would have to imagine. Maybe he got lucky on the Riki pick, but the Pango, probably intentional. Just such a classic counter. Fight breaks out, you're going to play the outside, right? This current, at this point in the game, you're largely playing around just getting good Ruptures. I mean, Ruptures, it's just an incredible ability because not only does it do damage when they're moving, it also just does 18% of their health, which is crazy. It's literally just 18% of their health pure. That goes through BKB. Nuts, right? It's just good damage. like it's just good damage. So you can see he doesn't really want to run high ground here. He's very, very hesitant without the BKB because he wants to use this last Rupture, probably even the Abyssal if possible, before he actually pops the Refresher. So you can see now he should probably pop the Refresher. Even is a little bit late, I would argue. I mean, I guess he's going for the Abyssal, like I said. Yeah, I think he's going for the Abyssal. Maybe he gets greedy. Realizes kind of needs it here. So then eventually going to Rupture the Tiny. I mean, look at the damage from the Rupture. It was very clear there. Unfortunately, the BKB is only 6 seconds and he gets tossed into the fountain, which is what delays this game. I was wondering what delays this game. I understand. They dove the fountain, which maybe they did intentionally, to be honest, because it's very hard for them to siege. But yeah, either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this analysis of Amar's Bloodseeker. You can see it's the small things that add up, right? I really love how he had so much discipline on reading the map, avoiding the ganks early on, getting like a 15-minute Maelstrom BKB. Something I didn't mention as well is the level 2 spike in the lane also just comes from him denying multiple creeps from Silencer. Being good enough to get those denies and then slightly shoving in the third wave enables him to hit that level 2 spike first, and that's all very intentional. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.